Hey guys, welcome to part one of my video content creation series, and I'm just going to start off this video showing you what you need to get started. So you're day one, you want to start making videos, you need to know what to do just to start. So let's start rolling into it. Now, this is the stuff you have to do first because you're creating video content and it's going to be video content on the web. So this is all the groundwork you need to lay out so you can produce your content so it can go viral, so it can draw eye contact and you can funnel it and then turn it into either sales, leads, or whatever you like it to be. Alright, first you're going to need to get a website. Either a self-hosted website, I recommend WordPress. Go to GoDaddy, get the ultimate hosting, make sure you get cPanel and backups, and install your WordPress site, build it up there. It's very easy to learn. It's easy to build up to. You get a high-end amount of functionality for little to no cost. But it actually is some cost. You have to pay for hosting, but for the most part, it's relatively cheap. Or if you have no money, get a free blogger, and that will work enough for you to build a blog, and then you might have to go around some corners and stuff, but you can get a lot of functionality out of that, which is great. I did also, before I go more into this video, I have another video I'll link down below that links to a whole bunch of free software and things like that. I'm going to cover some here, but you can check that out and they'll give you more tools to help you grow. Now, you're going to have to make these social media pages, and you want to brand them to what your, let's say, YouTube channel is, what your WordPress site is, your Facebook, your Instagram, etc. You want them all to have similar names. So when people search for you, they can find you across all these platforms just in case something happens. You delete a channel or you delete your social media, your website goes down, you're always going to have a backup so people can find you, and that's very important, and especially if you keep the name either the same or as close to the same as possible. Now, this is the must-have hardware and software. First, you're going to need an HD camera and a microphone. The microphone's going to be more for the webcam, but for regular shooting, if you have a smartphone like an Android device or an iPhone that has a good HD camera on it, you can really do a lot of that stuff on the fly. It works really good for Instagram. It works really good for Facebook, as well as some YouTube. You may want to go more in depth on certain YouTube stuff. If you're just going to get a camera that you're going to carry around with you, I recommend that's inexpensive is the Canon T3i. I personally have a Canon SL1 and have a Sony camera, but that one I've actually had to send to the shop, so I don't know if I'm going to get a new one. I'm going to see what they tell me for that. Now, a webcam, like I said before, you're going to have to get a webcam, but you're also going to need a mic. I got a Logitech webcam. It was about $60 and shoots pretty good HD video. Then I bought the Blue Snowball Ice, the mic. It was about $50. Best $50 I ever spent. It really, when I shoot from the webcam, it's totally changed the sound, and it's worth every penny. And it seems to be highly recommended with vloggers. Now, video and photo software. Again, I made a video about free software, so you can get a lot of this stuff for free. GIMP for photo editing, because you might want to do titles and thumbnails and things like that. GIMP is a free software. I personally use Photoshop, but again, if you're on a bootstrap budget, go ahead and get GIMP. You can do a lot of photo editing, and there's a lot of functionality there. Microsoft Expression, QuickTime, or Camtasia for the screen recording. So if you're trying to do a presentation like this, you can go ahead and record the screen. I'm using Camtasia. And then for video editing, you can use Blender, which is free. It's an amazing software for video editing and 3D graphics and a whole bunch of stuff. And for free, they've done a great job. I use Premiere Pro. I have it installed CS5 on my computer. And then I also have a membership with Adobe for some of the newer stuff that they offer. Or you can use Camtasia as well for video editing. I believe with a Mac they have iMovie that comes with the Mac, so you can use that as well. There's some other things, but these are pretty much one of the more reputable, ones that people talk a lot about. Now you got all this software, you got all this social media stuff. How do you edit all this stuff? How do you do everything? How do you figure it out? So this is just going to be some basic stuff and some basic sources you can go to. First of all, the basic thing you need to know is codecs and frames per second. Because especially if you're shooting with a camera and then you're blending different types of video together, you're going to need to know what the codec it was shot in and the frames per second. There's also frame size, which is, for the most part, if you're using the same camera, you're going to be shooting in the same frame size. so that's not too much to worry about unless you're going to be doing different shots and you're changing your frame sizes. But your codecs and your frames per second are going to be typically when you are setting up your initial, standards for shooting a video, for recording a video and editing it. You're going to need it in the editing software in order so when you get your final product, it actually looks good. It doesn't mess up, doesn't lag. There's a lot. So if you can learn to understand codecs and frames per second, you will be a lot further off, and it'll make it a lot easier for you when you're doing your video editing. Now, where do you want to go to learn? All the software I listed below, in the last slide, you can literally type into YouTube, and you will find some kid that's 7 years old that shows you every in and out of it. Or there's just a person that's all they do to make their money. They have a website, they have a YouTube channel where they basically give tutorials on every aspect of the software to help you get it, and it's out there for free. It's going to take time, it's going to take work, but if you're looking to make good quality video and you're looking to actually produce a product, you need to spend time and learn how to do this. There's forums, so if let's say you want to get really tricky and you want to start doing crazy intros, outros and stuff, there's a lot of forums where people can show you how to do these things, little tips and tricks, and you can go and ask questions. So if something doesn't make sense to you, you can go to these forums and figure it out. Creative Cow is another great resource. There's a lot of tutorials, there's a lot of Q&A. It's a great source for you to figure things out. And then of course Google. You can type in Google, but it's also, Google's a great source too, because let's say if you want a certain type of text that you want to put into your GIMP so you can edit, you can Google it. Or if you want a certain type of filter, etc., when you want to get to the trickier stuff, you can type into Google, and there's going to be plenty of free resources, but there's also paid resources that you can check out as well. And that's it. Those are the basics. If you can understand these basics, you can have the basic tools, basic hardwares, basic sources to do your research, and you can get started. You get this laid out, then you're actually ready to produce and start making content. So this is it for part 1. Links, as always, are down below. Thanks for the time. Like, share, subscribe. Have yourself a fantastic day.